You may be and however you may be listening, we're on Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, and FS1. 1 hour from now, our top 10, our final top 10 of the regular season. It'll give you some sense of who we like in the playoffs going forward. Joy Taylor is joining me on a robust, dynamic Tuesday. Joy, how are you?
I am doing better than Doug Pederson.
Not great 24 hours for Doug Pederson.
having a rough go.
Philadelphia Eagle head coach. Let's start with that. You would never go to a restaurant 3 straight times, get bad service, have spotty food, and go, that's a well-run restaurant. You would never go to a car dealership and buy 3 straight cars and they're lemons and think that is really a well-run car dealership. But there's a weird thing about sports and loyalty, and you put the city's name on the uniform, and let's be honest about the Philadelphia Eagles, and we sort of predicted this, didn't we? They couldn't handle a little success. We've all had the loser brother-in-law, coworker, family member. They make a little lettuce job promotion. 2 years later, they're a bigger mess than they've ever been. A lot of lottery winners end up selling off the timeshares and jet skis now, don't they? Philadelphia is now just Dallas, but has worse weather. They're just loud. This morning I was doing a loud meter in the NFL for our TV audience, and there is a striking similarity between the louder the teams, the more they underachieve. Jets, Cowboys, Browns, Eagles. Yes, the Steelers have been loud for several years, got quieter this year, but they've underachieved. And the quietest teams in the league, what a shock. Buffalo, Baltimore, for most of the New England dynasty, for the record. You didn't hear a lot of stories breaking. It was the very end when it unraveled that you did. For all the stars Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, Gronk and Brady, Antonio Brown, they've got all Mike Evans, all sorts of stars. The only one we ever hear of is Bruce Arians, talks about once every 2 weeks, and we have to comment on it. They're pretty quiet. Let's just move the Philadelphia Eagles from well-run operation to loud operation. Here's the latest story. Multiple players were shocked and outraged that Doug Pederson, the coach, benched Jalen Hurts in the middle of a competitive game. One player, offensive starter Jason Kelce, questioned the coach directly on the stunning decision. According to this story, the owner or the GM, Howie Roseman, may have ordered the benching of Jalen Hurts to get somebody involved from the bench to tank and get a better draft spot. God, this is just the classic. They had a little success and they couldn't handle it. Everybody got a book deal, a car dealership deal. Everybody got a movie role. Everybody was at the parade, drank a little too much, hung over for the last 3 years. Because this is what Philadelphia is. It's funny, New England had a dynasty for 20 years, and they were adults the whole time. Philadelphia won a Super Bowl. They started lecturing everybody on how to win. Remember that? You got to have fun in this league. Not really. You got to win in this league. That's what New England did for 20 years. You did 1 year. Since the Super Bowl, here's what Philadelphia is. A losing team. 22 wins, 25 losses, and a tie. That's in a bad division. That's not in the NFC West or the AFC South with all those quarterbacks. That's in a division where Washington and the Giants and Dallas have had chaos. Just say this out loud. Last 3 years, losing team, lot of noise, quarterback controversy, and no cap space next year. Sound like a good restaurant? If I said bad menu, terrible service, lot of complaints with the health board, sound like a well-run restaurant? If I said bad service department, lots of lemons, weak sales staff, sound like a good car dealership? Philadelphia's Dallas with worse weather. That's what they've become. Cap space issues. I mean, the last time they drafted a Pro Bowler was Carson Wentz, and now he doesn't like the organization. What a mess. Doug Pederson taking his future star quarterback, Jalen Hurts, pulling him out of a winnable game so that he can get a third-stringer reps. By the way, I heard this yesterday on Sports Talk Radio. My ears were bleeding. Some guy called a Sports Talk Radio station. You know, they put in Nate Sudfeld to just get a spark. What? He'd been at practice for 3 years. If you're an NFL head coach practice lets you know who can play, not just games. If you thought Nate Sudfeld was going to give you some dynamic athletic spark over Jalen Hurts, you should be fired for that. For that alone, Philadelphia. All right, so, Warren Buffett's a legendary stock picker in America. He's one of the most successful. And his whole theory is buy value. When stuff's beaten down and everybody no longer wants it, that's when you go in and buy it. It works that way in real estate. A lot of the richest people, recessions are garage sales for the rich and well-prepared.
As a free agent and made him his starter. And that first year, he ended up starting 9 games. He went 2-7. And then he went to the Browns the year after Belichick got fired. Chris Palmer was the first-year head coach. And they tabbed him as their starter, and he went 1-7. So he bounced around the league, and he was just sort of a backup / occasional starting quarterback who
sees himself in Nate Sudfeld.
He sees himself. I'm just telling you, he sees himself.
Yes.
So he thinks this guy's got a pretty good arm. I couldn't even tell the other night because he had a QBR of 2.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Nate Sudfeld because it's unfair to 2 quarterbacks at the same time because I'm the biggest Jalen Hurts fan you're going to find, and that's exactly the kind of game that he can win. Jalen Hurts can make one play with legs or arm that will win a game that's 17-all if it should have been going.
I'm not criticizing Nate Sudfeld. What's he supposed to say? Hell, no, I'm not going in there. Let him finish it up, coach. He's going to go in.
So he goes in and blows up Dougie P's genius plan. I am the genius here because he can't execute. He stinks because he's not ready. Because I doubt he got many snaps in practice. No. And meanwhile, on the sidelines, there's all-out mutiny going on because Jason Kelsey, who's a Pro Bowl center and the leader of that team, it was reported, he walked up to Doug Pederson on the sideline and said, "Could you please explain what you're doing?" And I don't know what the answer was, but if I know Doug Pederson, he thinks he's smarter than any player right now, and that he just said, I'm doing what I think I should do here. I think that Nate gives us a better chance right now.
He's talking about the offense has been struggling. Dougie, look around. For 17 weeks, your offense has been struggling. That's why you're in the position. That's why you made the quarterback switch, because you said your offense is struggling.
Okay. I just believe he really was trying to win. So I don't think Joe Judge got it exactly right, said the right thing for the wrong reason, because I think if you could get Doug Pederson to be hooked